Hello scene peepers. Welcome back to our channel. I hope you enjoy our videos so far. Today I would like to explain another amazing American drama film called The Shawshank Redemption. Often labeled as one of the greatest movies of all time, this film truly deserves its remarkable recognition. If you haven't watched this, trust me, you should give it a shot. It's gonna be a good watching experience. Spoilers ahead. Take care and enjoy. The story revolves around the life of a Portland banker turned prisoner, Andy Dufresne. At the beginning of the movie, we can see that Andy is charged with a murder case. He is accused of killing his wife and her lover by firing 8 bullets through their body. Andy denies the accusation, saying that despite he was drunk that night, he didn't commit the murder. However, the jury and judge didn't side with him and dropped a life sentence for Andy. In 1947, Andy was sent to Shawshank prison because of that false trial. In the prison, we are introduced to Red. He has been spending his time in jail for more than 20 years. In that jail, he is known as someone who can help people smuggle things. Some prisoners often come to him for a few packs of cigarettes. Arriving in Shawshank prison together with other convicts, Andy was welcomed by old prisoners who have been staying there longer than him, including Red. Red and his friends bet on who is gonna cry on their first day in prison. Red bet on Andy, promising 10 cigarettes if Andy didn't cry that night. After that bizarre welcome from the old prisoners, Andy and other convicts meet Norton, the warden, and Hadley, the prison's guard captain. They are being told some rules in the prison before getting bathed, and then sent to their cell naked. That night, Red lost his bet. Andy never made any sound from his cell. Another convict cried and got beaten by the prison guards. The next morning, after going through a routine cell inspection, Andy gets his breakfast. He found a maggot in his meal. Brooks later asked it to feed his pet bird. During breakfast time, Andy heard that the prisoner who got beaten by Hadley yesterday had died in the infirmary. He asked about the prisoner's name, but apparently, no one knew. Later while taking a bath with other prisoners, Andy was greeted by Boggs, but he just ignored him. It is shown that Andy hadn't socialized too much in his first several days in jail. It's not until a month before he finally opens his mouth to talk to Red. He asked Red a favor, to smuggle a rock hammer for him. After sharing a brief conversation, Red admits that he liked Andy from the start. With the help of Brooks and his other friends, Red procured and delivered the rock hammer for Andy. That's how they became friends. Besides making friends, Andy also has some enemies in that prison. Assigned to work in the prison laundry, Andy later is sexually raped regularly by the sisters and their boss, Boggs. Sometimes he fights and wins, but sometimes they get him. That's Andy's life in his first 2 years in Shawshank. In 1949, Norton announced that they needed several volunteers to work outside the prison. Since it's outdoor work, so many prisoners applied to be volunteers, but only a few of them got selected. Red, Andy, and their gang are those lucky ones to have a chance to work outdoors. While mopping a building's floor, Andy overhears the captain of the guards, Byron Hadley, lamenting the fact that he is being taxed on an inheritance. Andy, who knows finance and tax since he was once a banker, offered to assist Hadley in legally securing the funds. Hadley was furious at first, but he then let Andy help him. In return, Andy asked him for several bottles of beer for his friends. For a short while, Andy felt normal again, and that's how he gained Hadley's favor. We are also shown several scenes about how Andy's life goes when he is alone in his cell. Andy enjoys sculpting rocks in his leisure time. Somehow, he also likes to sculpt his cell wall, writing some alphabet there. The next day, while watching a movie starring Rita Hayworth, Andy asked Red to procure another thing. This time, it was Rita Hayworth's poster. Red agrees. Andy was leaving the prison theater, when he once again was attacked by Boggs and his gang. After an assault by the sisters nearly kills Andy, Hadley beats and cripples Boggs. Boggs was later transported to another prison, and Andy was never assaulted again. It was a few days after Andy came back from the infirmary, when the warden conducted a sudden cell inspection. The truth is, Norton wanted to size Andy up. That warden was impressed by Andy, after the two exchanged their favorite phrase from the Holy Bible. It wasn't long before Andy was sent to the prison library to aid elderly inmate, Brooks Hatlin. Somehow, the library job is just an excuse to allow Andy to manage financial matters for other prison staff, guards from other prisons, and the warden himself. Andy later begins writing weekly letters to the state legislature, requesting funds to improve the prison library. As the tax job gets Andy busier after working years managing guards and wardens' financial affairs, Andy takes Red as his assistant. One day, Brooks was about to be released after spending 50 years in that prison. He even nearly attacked Haywood because he congratulated him for getting released. Fortunately, Andy persuaded him to calm down and let Haywood go. They learn that life outside prison will never be the same. The bar which locked them for years started to feel like home. That's why Brooks is getting freaked out by the possibility of getting out of jail. It's later revealed that after getting out of jail and working in a store, Brooks can't adjust to the outside world. He feels lonelier than ever. He later carved his name on his halfway house's wall before hanging himself. Meanwhile, in the prison, after sending those letters regularly for 6 years, the legislature grants his wish, and sends a library donation to the prison. The donation includes a recording of the Marriage of Figaro. After locking the guard in the toilet, Andy plays the music over the public address system. Shawshank prisoners listen to the beauty of this song again after all these years. Andy later was punished for 2 weeks in solitary confinement because of this. After his release from solitary, Andy explains that hope is what gets him through his time, a concept that Red dismisses. Although everyone enjoyed the music he played 2 weeks before, his friend seems to have lost hope and soul. During that conversation, Red told Andy that he once played harmonica, but decided to give it up. Days after that conversation, Andy gave Red a harmonica as a present. Red later gave him another poster to celebrate his 10th anniversary in jail. At that time, the popular new star was Marilyn Monroe. Several years later, after continuous letters from Andy, the Senate gave them a bigger library donation. The Shawshank Library turned into the best prison library in New England. They have new books and even some music to listen to. In 1963, Norton started using convict labor for public works projects, earning by undercutting trained labor costs and accepting bribes. Andy uses the identity Randall Stevens to launder the funds and help Norton. He is now gaining the warden's full trust and some privilege in the prison. In 1965, a young man named Tommy Williams was sent to Shawshank for burglary. Tommy is a funny man. People like him. Andy and Red become friends with Tommy. Andy also assists him in passing the GED test. Time passes so fast. By 1966, we can see that Marilyn Monroe's poster has been changed to actress Raquel Welch. A year after studying under Andy's supervision, Tommy was ready to take the test. After learning about Andy's murder case, Tommy informs Red and Andy that his cellmate in another prison, Elma Blatch, has claimed responsibility for the killings in which Andy was sentenced. Andy confronts Norton with this knowledge, but Norton refuses to listen and sends Andy back to solitary prison when Andy cites money laundering. It's later revealed that Tommy passed the GED test while Andy is locked in a solitary prison. One night, Norton talked to Tommy, asking him about the truth of Andy's murder case. Tommy said that he was willing to swear an oath on the Holy Bible to prove Andy's innocence if they conducted a trial. Norton later has Hadley assassinate Tommy, in the pretense of an attempted escape. Andy attempts to discontinue the laundering. However, Norton threatens to demolish the library, take away Andy's guardian's protection, and send him to a harsher location. After 2 months in solitary confinement, Andy informs a doubtful Red that he wants to live in Zihuatanejo, a Mexican town on the Pacific coast. Andy also informs him about a certain hayfield near Buxton, and asks Red to recover a package that Andy hid there once he is released. Red is concerned for Andy's safety, especially after learning that Andy requested a 6 feet of rope from a fellow inmate. Red is afraid that Andy wants to attempt suicide like Brooks. That night, rain poured and thunder blasted. Red feels that it's the longest night in his life. He worried about Andy. The guards discover Andy's cell vacant the next day during a roll call. An enraged Norton hurls a rock at a Raquel Welch poster on the cell wall, revealing a 19-year-old tunnel excavated by Andy with his rock hammer. Andy had escaped through the tunnel and prison sewage pipe the night before, taking Norton's coat, shoes, and ledger, which included proof of the money laundering. Andy pretends as Randall Stevens, and withdraws about $370,000 from numerous banks. He also mails the ledger and other proof of the corruption and killings at Shawshank to a local newspaper, as guards search for him. After serving 40 years, Red is ultimately released the following year. He is having difficulty adjusting to life outside of prison, and believes that he will never be able to do so. He goes to Buxton remembering his pledge to Andy. He also discovers a stash containing money and a letter inviting him to Zihuatanejo. Red breaks his parole by traveling to Fort Hancock, Texas, and crossing into Mexico, confessing that he has finally found hope. On a beach in Zihuatanejo, he runs across Andy, two reunited friends happily embracing. Some birds aren't meant to be caged. That's what Red thinks about Andy when he successfully escapes from the prison. It takes 19 years for Andy to plan his escape and go to his dream place in Zihuatanejo. He has hope and patience which lead him to freedom. The movie was shot aesthetically and deserves all its notable recognition. What do you think about the movie? Leave your comments below. Kindly subscribe to this channel for more similar videos. Please like and don't forget to turn on notifications for more updates. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.